Hey, it's Travis. Too many camp directors run just on gut feel. Our free Resilient Camp Blueprint Diagnostic is your dashboard for resilience. Take it today at camp.mba/Travis. Again, that's camp.mba/Travis.
This is CampHacker. Come find our show notes and our blog for camp directors and leaders at camphacker.tv.
Good day and welcome to the podcast. This is CampHacker episode 119, recorded on the 11th of December, 2019. On today's show, the All Tool of the Week episode. This CampHacker podcast is sponsored in part by RadTags. Designed by a former camp owner and director, RadTags is about connecting people to who they are, the camp they love, and the accomplishments they experience there. RadTags bracelets and tags help your camp community stay connected to their happiest place. Find out what RadTags has to offer your camp at zoic.ca/rad. That's zoic.ca/rad. Also, don't forget to visit RadTags at the ACA National Camp Conference. Be one of the first 50 people to booth 522 for a special gift from RadTags and Go Camp Pro. RadTags, be and be known. If you love the CampHacker podcast, we would be thrilled if you subscribe to us in whatever podcast app you have on your phone. Thanks for letting your awesome out, Camp Mavericks. We hope you enjoy the CampHacker show.
Hello, Camp Pros, and welcome to the CampHacker podcast. My name is Travis Allison. I'm a summer camp marketing and strategy consultant, and I help camps translate what they do so that more families insist on sending their kids to summer camp.
Hi, my name is Dan Weir. I have over 2 decades of experience working in camping. All that is in YMCA camping. I ran an overnight camp for a number of years, and now I work for the YMCA of Long Island, developing their day camps.
And my name is Gabrielle Rail. I'm one of the camp directors at Camp Waro, and Camp Waro is an all-girls camp in the Laurentian Mountains of Quebec.
Awesome. Well, welcome to you both. Sadly, Joe's not able to be here because he's a camp board meeting. And before we get into the topic, a couple of little things I wanted to mention. First of all, if you have enjoyed the show or you get a good idea from this, or there's something that sticks out to you, would be super grateful if you would go to iTunes and leave us a review. Maybe you're on a different app on your phone or you're on Android, and you can leave it in your app. If you use Stitcher, leave the reviews there. But all of that stuff tends to have way more impact. Just the couple minutes it takes has way more impact than the amount of time that you put into it. So we'd be grateful if you did that. If you're in the Apple world, then you can go to camphacker.tv/iTunes, and that will let you get into the spot where you can leave us a review. So we're grateful to people that have done that. Also, I wanted to say thank you to those people who are our patrons. As many of you know from Matt's introductions or his piece at the end, we are paid for, up until now, solely paid for by a very small group of people who are very dedicated, who support us on patreon.com. So we're grateful to all those people. I know that number's been dwindling. I think we probably could do better at taking care of those folks who've been so supportive of us, but we've got some big plans going forward, and so we do want to say how grateful we are to those people who allow us to get together and have these chats and then hand it off to Matt. So you are the ones who are paying for Matt, and we're so grateful for that, because it allows us to do things like increase the number of shows that we're doing this year, as you've no doubt noticed. So thank you to all of you who do that on the regular. I wanted to say that this is an exciting topic. I watched a couple of the shows that we've done lately, and I've appreciated the fun in hanging out with these folks for now heading into our 9th year. And this is a show that we've done before, and one that I enjoyed. And so as we're recording this on the 11th of December, I suspect you're probably going to hear this or see it on YouTube in the new year. But for us, I've seen lots of lists of things at the end of the year. We thought it'd be fun to talk about some of our favorite tools of the week. Instead of just doing one short one each, we're just going to do a whole episode on tools of the week again. So thank you for listening. Thank you for watching us on iTunes. If you're an iTunes watcher, then please do subscribe, and you can click on that little bell. It'll give you a notification whenever we release a new show. So we do have kind of a format. We're pretty loosey-goosey, as you can imagine, on the format, but we're thinking that we would start with some apps that we use that we love that maybe some others may not know. I did go through my apps and sort of sorted them. One of the nice things about Android is you can sort your apps by the most used ones, and they sort of do that automatically, and that's kind of fun. Lots of those are just chat apps and things, so that wasn't the best pick for me, but I will say that my first phone app that I'm going to say is a podcast app. And I think likely some of my tools I will have mentioned on the show before in the Tool of the Week section, but some I want to come back to. So I use an app called Pocket Casts, and I think I pay $40 a year for a membership to that. It gives me a few extra features, but I love Pocket Cast because of what it allows me to do in terms of sorting all the podcasts that I have. So I sort of have things sorted according to sometimes how much time I have, things I want to hear daily. It allows me to subscribe to CBC News, NPR News, the BBC News, and instead of downloading all of the shows between when I listen to one today and when I listen 4 days from now, Pocket Cast allows me to do a little thing that it only keeps the most recent show, or it'll delete a show after 24 hours. And news shows, I don't need something that's from a week ago. So I have that all dialed in. So I have a little grouping called called news that changes every day. And that's probably 10 or 15 shows. Some of them are weekly, but it only keeps one of them. And then other shows, like all of the CampHacker and Go Camp Pro podcasts, I just download this and listen to when I can. So I love the customizability of Pocket Casts, and makes it easy for me to surface the ones I really want to listen to, and also to save ones that I might want to listen to someday. But all that is possible because of the Pocket Cast app. Gab, what's your first phone app?
My first phone app is Decide Now. It's an easy to input information, and then you click on a button and it scrolls through all of your different topics or people, like a Wheel of Fortune type situation. So it's graphically fun. I've used it for example, selecting beds for my leadership team members and where they're going to be sleeping when they can't decide. Okay. I put in their names and click on it, and it's great for camp. It's great for quick games, and I use it often when I'm not quite sure what I want to make my decisions on, or et cetera, et cetera. But as a camp person, you can make a lot of games out of it. Totally customizable.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Dan?
Yeah. Oh, just making sure. Yeah. Good.
Gotcha.
I was on mute. Yeah. Sorry. Thank you. First app is Fantastical. I was really, with moving, I moved from one camp to another, and I was using my life on Google Calendar, but now with my new job, they're all on Microsoft products. So I had to find a really great calendar to kind of merge everything, which took a little while. And Fantastical was the best calendar app I found. It made everything very easy in terms of, it reads more like an agenda, but for work, I can't tell you, it's kept me on task so much better in 1 week of using it than I was for nearly 2 months without it. So yeah, just highly recommend Fantastical, the calendar app.
Cool. I know that Fantastical has a Mac app. Does it do Windows 2, or is it just you use it for your phone to talk to both?
I'm just using it right now for my phone. Okay. I'm just in between computers, basically, for lack of a better word. So I'm just using a work laptop on my phone, and it's amazing. You can pretty much live your life off a phone. It actually, the nice part about it is it'll sync everything up as well too. So
great. Yeah. So by the looks of it, it doesn't work on Windows or Android phones, but works very well on iPhones, and it's famous. Lots of people I know use it on a Mac and love it. So that's a great one.
Yeah, I love it for my iPhone. Yeah.
Didn't think about that as a phone app. Well, that's great. Gabba, we'll go back to you. What's your next one?
Mine's called Get Pocket. So Get Pocket is a way of just tagging articles, videos, music on your desktop, and it creates a list for you, but it also syncs to your phone. And so you can also create categories. So I'll have things such as just personal interest in camp is pretty much my two separate categories. But it's where I keep a lot of my videos, training staff videos that I come across, I keep them in there. Articles that I want other people to read out loud to me, I keep in there. But it also helps me with not getting too distracted and not go down the rabbit hole while I'm working.
That's awesome. I love Get Pocket too. Good. My next app is Google Home, the app for Google Home. We /me have put a lot of Google devices into our house in the last year between the speakers and light switches. Really not light switches, but the little plug things that I can turn on through my Google Home. And the Google Home app I have found has gotten better and better. It was pretty bad at first, but it's better at helping set up automation. So I can walk into the house and say, use the activation word. I won't use it so it doesn't turn on your speaker, but I can say the activation word and then Merry Christmas, and then it'll turn on all the Christmas decorations and start playing Christmas music. Or I can say good morning and it'll read my calendar to me and tell me the weather and then start to tell me the news. We've been able to do like lights in the office, the studio lights here in the office are all on Google Home, and I can set up all that stuff in the app. And so I quite like it for home automation. I've been really careful with the home automation stuff that we've bought, that it all works through Google, since our whole life is in Google Apps. And it's been great. I like having lots of Google stuff, but the app on the phone has made it easy to set up all those things and do fun little routines, they're called, to give me some things automatically, things like that. Dan, what's another app for you?
Yeah, for me, my to-do list manager really is Google Keep. I love it. I think I've talked about it on the show before, but the ability to share your task list with other people easily has made things, it's just great. I also use the notes section. I get too paranoid if you take too many notes on your specific device that's not up to the cloud. I just find Google Keep has been really great in that sense for tracking everything, and I use it for everything. You can color code them, you can sort them, you can pin them, all the sorts of things. You can archive them, you can search them,
Does this mean that you have at long last given up on TuxDux?
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. TuxDux has been retired. Yes.
All right. If you want to know why we're all laughing about that, I think you might have to listen to our old podcast before the CampHacker podcast for that joke. It's been a while. What else you got?
I have Time too. So Time spelled like the herb thyme, and it's a tracking device for your work. And if you do independent work for different clients, then you could also bill accordingly. But the reason why I like it is for two specific reasons. One, I categorize I break up my camp work. So if I'm doing staff training, I have that category. If I'm doing marketing, I have that category. If I have just miscellaneous emails, etc., I have that category. And I budget time for different work. And because of my nature of getting up and walking around and doing other things, my time tracker is also on my phone. So when I walk away from my computer, it will ask me, do you want to pause? Do you want to pause the work that you're doing? It also forces me to try to stay on task, and lets me know there's a timer that says you have 10 minutes until this portion of your day is over. So it also shows me a lot of how much time I spend interviewing staff members, how much time I do spend, problem solving certain things. And that really helps just at the end of the day, when I'm wondering what have I done all day, all the tasks I want to get done and to get them done. It really shows where I put my time. And now, because I've been using it it's my third or fourth year that I've been using it, I can also realistically put put certain time aside. So
Right.
the main feature is me getting up and walking away from my computer and pausing. I find that's to be the best feature for me.
That's great. And interesting. I think that's a good. It's a good point to draw attention to the philosophy of these tools, little, different little pieces of it. And I think the idea that we study where we spend our time is really good for any campers who are feeling stressed, feeling maxed out. A good knowledge of where we're actually spending time is it's just good to understand. So thanks for that, Gabz. It's really awesome.
And I think also if you're working for a board, it also really helps for them to understand where your time goes to. And
Yes.
when they have big ideas and which is great if a board's interested in that, you can say, in my year, this is where all my time is spent. I could adjust these 2 or 3 things, but after that, everything's really locked in. So maybe we'll want to fundraise for a new person. That would be cool.
That's great. That's great. Yes, obviously we need information to be able to make good decisions. So that's really cool. That's really cool. Dan, do you have any more apps?
Yeah, my third app is for iPhone. It's called Flip Clock, but for I'm sure there's an Android version. Basically, it's just a giant clock. I do a lot of public speaking, even with just having a small group of people of running meetings with anywhere from 4 to 10 people. I just put the Flip Clock on. One, it stops from notifications coming up. 2 is I don't have to make too subtle of a glance at it, for lack of better words. I find if I stare at the clock, people stop speaking. But if I have it in big numbers, it actually will take care of things. So just a really helpful thing. It's funny. I knew some speakers back in the day that would bring giant alarm clocks with them, and so they could see the time. Flip Clock has definitely replaced that for me. So
right. That's funny. That reminds me of something that I wasn't going to put on here, but that I'm going to mention as a bonus, not as an app, but directly related to that is right above. As many of you know, I spend a lot of my day on Zoom calls, and I like to, as Dan says, just have a subtle way of knowing what the time is or how much time's left. So right above my camera is a big LED clock that's this big, so I can see it in my peripheral vision, and it's right above my camera, which I'm trying to look at the cameras and not necessarily look at the screen or my hands. And it does the same thing. And it was I don't know, $8 on Amazon, and it's just LED powered. And I have a little magic arm that holds it up above my camera there. And that, I think it'd be nice to have something on your phone, as Dan said, or something physical like I have for doing staff interviews. So that you can keep track of the time and know if you need to move yourself along or the interviewee along, etc. So that's a great idea, Dan. Thank you. My last one is not specifically camp related. I think my tools, and maybe it's just that it's December when we're recording this and I'm ready for a break. My next app is not necessarily a camp tool, not really a camp tool. It's called Gstone, and it's a new app that allows people to find other people who want to play board games together. And it's for organizing a games night. And I do organize a games night at a pub here in town twice a month. And our group is going to be moving to that, we hope. And it's good for other people who are just in your area who might be interested in meeting to play board games or tabletop games. And so I thought it was kind of fun if you are looking for some ways to meet people who and have social engagements that aren't just talking about camp, then you might be a board game player like I am. So check out Gstone. Also a good time for me to say that we are keeping show notes of all these things. And as usual, Matt will go in and create a note on camphacker.tv/podcast. This is episode 120. And you can find all the notes and links to all these things. You don't have to pull over the car and write this down or stop watching us on YouTube to make notes. You'll see it all there at camphacker.tv/podcast. Any other apps that you want to mention before we move on? No? Okay, great. So the next section we planned on was software. I don't think we have a full suite of 3 each necessarily, but there might be some software that could help you out. And Gab, I wonder what you've got first.
My first one is Google Slides. We're talking a lot about Google today. I think
Yeah.
because it's free, and I think also because you can share it. And so I personally use Keynotes to do my presentations. But the downside with Keynote is you can't share it with a lot of people. And Google Slides has actually some fairly decent templates. You can also buy templates for like $5 in other areas. But what's amazing is I was just going through my Google Slides today, and I have presentations from the past 2 years from camp for a staff training. And just having all of that from past staff members, leadership team members that you might not have gathered is wonderful. It also allows you as a director to maybe look at people's presentations before
Right.
they put them up.
Yep.
But it's and then of course you have them all there so you can tweak them, for next year. So I would say Google Slides, and I would put in with that, if you're looking for some great images as well as diverse images, go to unsplash.com, because those are royalty free as long as you're saying where you're getting them from. So if you want some good looking slides, remember less is more, and Unsplash is a great place for images.
That would actually be a really fun topic for us to talk about, is how to do good camp presentations.
I would love to do that.
Because I think the 3 of us speak enough, and Joe too does keynote speaking, and it would be fun to pull all of those together as a camp. Yeah, so that's interesting. I was going to show you here it is. I also love Google Slides. I don't use it as much as I used to, but I'm kind of picking up on it more. So if you're watching us on YouTube, you may see that I always have a TV on behind me. And my idea was always that I would be able to, as I'm talking or recording stuff, I would be able to throw my computer up there. So I often do presentations or webinars where I have that on a TV. And if I edit the videos together, then sometimes it's just the slide on the TV behind me. Sometimes it's the slide taking up the full screen. All of that I do on the fly using Google Slides. I love that choice. It's a great pick. Lots of fun, creative uses for that with all the other Google tools in my life. Yep. So Dan, you said you don't have software picks, right? I can keep going? All right, I'll keep running then.
Yeah.
Keep going. My first pick is Basecamp, the app that now has a free personal version. It's always been paid. I pick it as a sort of project management software and communication software. Like all of these, there's lots of rooms for improvement, lots of rooms to make it better, but it does help us run GoCamp Pro, where we are in 4 time zones, 2 countries, 3 provinces, 4 provinces. I don't even know how many states, probably 10 states, 8 states. And so Basecamp allows us to sort of keep it all in one place. I have heard from camp pros who said that Basecamp for them doesn't work for their college age staff. I can see it being sort of formatted quite well for, there might be other apps that would be formatted better for college age staff that operates more like a pure communication tool like Slack. But I do find Basecamp works really well. It also works really well for people who are my age and older, because it ties into email really well. So you tend to get, it takes a bit to dial in your notifications, so you don't get the emails you don't want. But I do find you can do a lot of it through the email once you have Basecamp set up. So that if you work with a board or you have an executive director who doesn't love tech, I think, but you still want to be able to have one central place for project management, I do think Basecamp is the best for that. It's not cheap, but there is a free option that's small, sort of one project option. Otherwise, it's $100 US per month. But on a big team that's spread out, I think you would find it really useful. And they do have a charity price. So if you are a nonprofit, then you can apply to get their charity pricing, which I actually don't remember what the pricing is for them, but it's a good way to make it work. Gab?
Yeah, and Travis, you and I have talked about it, and I struggle with Basecamp a little bit. I find Slack is easier for me to keep track of, but my development team, they're a team of 6, they're all part-time, and they're in charge of staff hiring right now. And what the 2 people that are in charge of the development team, why they like Basecamp is that they can put to-dos on calendars. They can see each staff member what their to-dos are, so they can say, oh, Chloe's has 2 to-dos, but Miriam has 15. Can we even that out? So they can actually look at everybody's to-do list. It's just a click away. So they find that very easy, and they can also upload videos and so on and so forth. And project management, they find a lot easier. So my whole team is super stoked about Basecamp. I'm still learning, but
right.
yeah. But that I think that piece is really cool. The fact that you can see what other people have to get done as a manager.
Share the workload.
Yep, absolutely. So
right.
I hear you.
It's a good one. Also, the thing that we've been much better at this year than any year before, and partly that's having Matt doing many more hours for us than many other years, and having Ruby on board to manage the master classes, is that Basecamp has allowed us to really standardize our procedures. So you create a project template and copy it into the next one. So when we ask somebody to run a master class for us, then we just have a template that Ruby copies over and sets up the next new person. And so projects that get repeated, it's really nice for that as well. And it has a nice repository of all the things, so add this into our standard operating procedures document, and then, it's a to-do for somebody to do that. It's really good. Great. So Basecamp. I'm going to do another one that I'll throw back to you, Gab. My next one is one that I have mentioned on the show before, maybe twice, but I love it so much. It's called camel.com, and it is it's an Amazon price tracker. And so I'm actually going to share my screen for those watching on YouTube. It is an Amazon price tracker that allows you to pick an object that you want. What I'm doing for the listeners is showing my Camel, which has unique versions for Canada, Italy, Germany, USA, UK, Japan, Spain, I think, about a dozen countries. They're unique Amazon stores. And so we can say, there's something that I'm interested in buying at some point. For camp people right now, it might be, we need a carpet cleaner for the summer, but we don't need to buy it now. So I just send an alert, and it will track Amazon pricing and then send you an email when the price goes beyond a point that you like. So on screen here, I have a photography book. I have a carpet cleaner. I've been watching the Amazon Fire 7 tablets, which seem really interesting for camps in terms of controlling music without people having to have their phones. They're fairly inexpensive. They're on sale in Canada right now for $55 Canadian. Stuff like that. So I get good alerts when that happens. There's also a thing called deals on products you're tracking, where they know what is a good deal on something, and you get a notification about that, or you see it on the page when you open it up. So Camel is a great budget saver if there are purchases that you're going to make on Amazon that you're not in a hurry for. So sometimes you might wait 3 or 4 months before you get an alert. Some things I've put on Camel have never sent me an alert. And that's fine. There's not something that I needed right away. It was like, this board game or something comes on sale at some point, I will buy it, but it's not worth buying right now. So that it really is camel.com. And there's a localized version for all sorts of different countries. Your next software, Gab.
Mine is Figma. So Figma is a design sharing platform. It's free unless you're more than 4 people. But if you can't afford Adobe Illustrator, and Photoshop. You can use Figma, and it is a pretty darn good program. It's probably one of the best ones I've seen out there that's free. And what's really, really cool is that you can share this with other people. So there's people that sort of geek out over design, that want to play with colors and shapes and sizes, et cetera, et cetera. But I could imagine if you're doing some fun Snapchat or Insta stories, and you're collaborating with a younger staff member, you could use Figma. If you're trying to clean up your logo, you could use Figma. So this is a really cool program, but the sharing feature is also what's pretty dope about it.
So Gab, is it like a Canva but with more possibilities?
It is like Canva with more possibilities, but the downside, the cool thing about Canva is that you already have templates and you already have a lot of things that are pretty much made for you and can customize them. This is 100% from scratch. It's a blank page. So that can be a little bit intimidating. However, if you do want to do something to add on to Canva, you could work on it in there and then throw it into Canva. So
upload it. Cool.
Yep.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Okay, cool. One last thing that I'll just spend a second on. MightyNetworks.com is software that we use to run our CampMavericks.com website. And it is kind of like a separate app for kind of Google Groups functionality. I like it because it has its own app and good community building. It also has a classroom feature. So if a camp wanted to have sort of an online community that anyone could join, you could have an alumni group, you could have a parents group, you could have a staff group, and you could run some of your online training through MightyNetworks.com. And if anybody has questions about that and wants more details, just let me know. I'm happy to show you what we've done and how it works before you purchase it. But it's really good service. It's like Basecamp. It's good. It's not the best ever, but I haven't found anything else that's better. So it doesn't do all the things I want it to do, but it does what it does quite well. So I invite you to check out MightyNetworks.com to try that out. This episode of the CampHacker podcast is sponsored by RadTags. RadTags is outfitting camps with personalized keepsakes that speak without saying a word. RadTags allows you to show someone they belong, building a relationship that goes beyond their last day at camp. With the goal of helping camps create awesome recognition and affiliate programs that last beyond the summer, RadTags is doing a monthly giveaway for GoCamp Pro listeners. Just email your answer to the following question to matt@gocamp.pro. and be entered to win 5 silicone bracelets with the Rad hand sign. Each month, we'll pick a new winner. This month's question is, what is the longest standing tradition at your camp? How was it started? Don't forget, email your answer to matt@gocamp.pro with Rad Tags contest in the subject line. Also, Rad Tags is coming to ACA National. Be one of the first 50 people to booth number 522 and shout out, I'm a GoCamp Pro podcast listener for a special gift from RadTags and us at GoCamp Pro. To find out more about how RadTags can elevate your camp program, visit zoic.ca/rad. That's zoic.ca/RAD. RadTags. Be and be known. So I think let's go to books next. And Dan, I'll open with you. What is a book that you would recommend that everyone check out?
Yeah, it's funny. I can't remember the books I've shared over the year, but these I just kind of boiled down like the top 3 that that really stuck with me for 2019. So the first one's When from Dan Pink.
Right.
That book really helped me understand my workflow. I'm pretty sure I talked about it on the show before, but I read it like 8 months ago, and I changed how I work. Basically, there's rhythms to our day, and there's times where we have more creative work, and times where we can do more analytical work, and just it really helped me understand how to work better and also how to be happier with my work, for lack of better words. I learned some things about like, I don't like doing work late at night. As much as a night owl as I am, it takes me down, so wait till the morning to do my better work. There's just stuff like that. It was very introspective for me. So
good pick.
Yeah.
Good pick. Gab, do you have a book? What books do you have?
I have So I have Mending Matters. So Mending Matters it's basically a book on how to repair clothing. And
cool.
so this is more of an example book that you could get for your camp. And I think with environmental issues arising and sustainability being very important, I almost put in my dad's, I have my dad's like Reader's Digest, like how to fix anything in your home. That's a really great picture book on how to repair stuff. But any of these type of books at camp, since a lot of camps don't have tablets or computers for their campers, this is a great like free time activity where you can show campers that you can actually repair stuff, and you don't need to just get a new tank top for like $5 at Target. You can repair that strap. So, but this one's like a funky one, like it looks really cool, and teens like it. So that's one of my books.
I love it. My first book is called The Art of Gathering. It's something that we did in our book club in campmavericks.com. And the woman's name is
also the Tri-State Chair as well, too.
The opening keynote?
Yeah, opening keynote.
Keynote Tri-State in 2020. I'm excited to hear her speak. She, I wasn't too sure what it was going to be. It just been recommended and wanted to check it out. And just learned some really interesting things about having a purpose to meetings. And she talks about meetings, work meetings, but she also talks about sort of gatherings and parties and having a special purpose and some creative rules and things. And, just not a big thing of hers is not just meeting for meeting's sake, but having a purpose to it. So it is a great book. I totally recommend checking it out. If you're a more visual person than a reader or a listener of books, then Priya's got tons of talks online, a good TED Talk, and lots of good. She's been promoting this book. She's done creative mornings. She's done all sorts of great interviews. So you can see and hear some of her great stories online. But if you get a chance, read her book that is called The Art of Gathering. So again, go to camphacker.tv/podcast, look up episode 120, and you'll see the notes there. Dan, I see your book list is getting longer. Oh, you're muted, Dan. I wonder what your next book pick is.
Yeah, my next one, it's by Adam Grant. It's originals. I think a lot of people have heard of Adam Grant before. UPenn faculty, really focuses on psychology, but really marries it with business. And just it was a great book. The subtitle of the book is How Nonconformists Move the World, and I think working in camp is nonconformity. And I think as a whole, I have a hard time relating to other people in other professions. There's elements of things I can talk to people. I could talk to people working in hospitality about service and customer service and what that is. I could talk to some people that manage young staff if they work at Disney World, but as a whole, our jobs are nonconformists. And I just found this book really helped me feel confident in what I was doing and helped me feel good about pushing forward.
Great. Another Tri-State keynote speaker. He was there a few years ago.
Yeah, a while ago. Yeah.
Great. Gab.
My second book is Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind. And I think a lot of people have probably listened to it on Audible or read it. The reason why I really like it is it does show how we evolve. And I think also in a time where we're in such high amounts of evolution, it's interesting to see these patterns that are emerging and just understand also our bare necessities and where we come from. And I like to apply that to our staff. The sort of, the importance of feeling safe, the importance of being well fed, the importance of being heard. It all comes from an evolutionary state. And so I find Sapiens is one of those books that I listen to, and I rewind often to just recapture some of the information. I'm on my third listen, and I'm still listening to hearing such new information. So I love this book.
Yeah, I've heard so much about it. I haven't read it, but I've heard a ton about it.
It's a little dense sometimes, but that's okay. Yeah.
Cool. Sapiens. My next books are for pleasure. They are not They're not necessarily make you better camp director books, but I thought that's my list and it's December. So these are some books that I've enjoyed a lot this year. 2 books that I've enjoyed, 2 novels that I've enjoyed very much this year. One is an older one. And again, novels I always listen to. Business books I tend to read on my Kindle or on paperback, but novels I always listen to. And the first one is a little bit older, like 4 or 5 years older. It's called Gun Machine. It's a novel. And it's a very noir detective novel, New York City. But it's written by a British author named Warren Ellis, who's quite famous for doing graphic novels and comic books. But this is his one full-length novel that he wrote. And the writing's great. The plot is really interesting, sort of set in modern New York City, but with an alternate world sort of creeping in at points. And so it has some really good stuff. And it's read by Reg E. Cathy, who probably most recently is known for being the barbecue guy on House of Cards. He ran the barbecue that Frank went to. So he's got his great voice, a totally distinct, very deep voice.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. Yeah.
And so him reading this book is just awesome. So it's just a listening pleasure. Every time you hear him read, you just think it's so great. Reg Cathy passed away last year. So it's kind of fun to have this little thing where you can put them in your brain directly. And so that book is called Gun Machine. The other book that we listened to this year, Beth and I listened to in the car this year, that a lot of people have talked about, is called Little Fires Everywhere. Celeste Ng, she got a lot of book prizes for this and a lot of features on big lists. But it was a great novel about society and expectations on people. And there's not much I can say that doesn't give it all away. It's not a book like Gun Machine is a book with a theme, and capital T theme. But Little Fires Everywhere is sort of like a story about real people, but about society and all of that. So I know lots of people recommended it throughout this year, and I also follow that up. So it's a good one. Dan, what's next for you?
Okay, so this next book is that's funny. This book is how to manage up at Essential, which I think there's a lot of people that listen to this that are working in larger organizations or have supervisors or owner or something like that. Also, this book is really helpful with like just difficult parent interactions, or like I've used it with the DOH. It's called 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. And Robert Greene is a really fascinating author. He writes a little bit in a way like almost like parables. So basically like these bigger themes and then these stories that kind of back it up. And in 48 Laws of Power, he really talks about the power dynamic. And he talks about how Galileo discovered the stars, but still had to report to a king. And how did Galileo not take the limelight away from the king while making these important scientific discoveries and still keeping funding for it? And it's, I recommend this book to a few people quietly that told me that they were struggling, and it's really great. It's dense. It's a very thick book. I recommend reading only one law at a time, or doing the audio book version. But yeah, it's amazing. It's a really it may, before that, like working with people, managing up, you might feel manipulative, and then that reading this was like, oh no, this is the way to do it. Yeah, this is actually good. So yeah.
Great. Good one. Dan, do you mind telling us your next book too while we
I got a bonus book. The Infinite Game by Simon Sinek. I've talked about it before, but just in my top books of 2019 that I've read, just has given me some really good language I've used already in the past week and two of finishing it, just to talk to people and getting them to think a little bit longer term. I find when you're working, most people think about the immediate problem, not the problem that it'll cause. And I just think we all need to as professionals curating communities, for lack of better words, we need to really need to think of the impact of our decision making, and then teach that to the people we work with, above, nice, sideways, and below. So it was a good book.
Right.
So yeah,
good. That's awesome.
Yeah, welcome.
Gab, what's your final book?
My final book is Proust and the Squid by Marianne Wolfe, and it's really about the anatomy of our brains in reading, and how we were never meant to read, but that we've only been reading for a certain amount of time, and how that has affected our society, and how that's affected us. And again, again, it sounds like a heavy book, but I find it very fascinating. Again, when we're thinking about our staff and we're thinking about our parents and how they interpret our information, and how do we get content across. And I was thinking about what you were talking about, Dan, with the 48 laws of power, and how to manage up. A lot of the times with communication, it's not manipulative to be clear. And I think with our parents, sometimes we just oversaturate them with information, and how can we be clear about our message, and the same with our staff and our campers. But Proust and the Squid is a very sort of beautiful way about talking about literature, and and the relationship that we have with the written word.
Right. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, I really enjoy it. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. Awesome. So just for the two of you, I'm going to skip over the section that comes next in the document and go to miscellaneous stuff. We didn't have much chance for a physical tool or anything that sort of didn't fit into my original categories that I sent out. So I wondered if you have something that is more miscellaneous than that last section, or stuff we've covered.
Yeah.
Go down.
I got three. First is a Joby tripod. For video conferencing. So I am on the road a lot and do a lot of conference calls. And Zoom has become very popular in the past year. And so Joby just makes a really steady tripod that I'm using right now. So I can't show you, but I'm just I highly recommend it. Very affordable, found in Target, but I know Amazon's got them and all the other fun retailers. So that's number one. Number two is Anchor batteries. I've gone from carrying a million of these things to carrying one around. This thing is a tank. It could charge me for the day. Very affordable. Again, all those big retailers carry them, but just has been reliable, hasn't caught on fire, and I'm happy with it. So all's good. And then the last one is I have been wearing an ear pod for years now, before they got all popular. It kills me that people are paying $100 to $200 for AirPods, and this is $20, and I lose it probably once a month, and I lose it like once or twice a year, and buy a new one, and it's $20, and it's okay, and I don't get upset. The microphone's not the best, but it's not the worst. Perfect Bluetooth, great battery life. I wear it in one ear. It's stereo in one ear, so it actually takes it instead of mono. It's basically mono, but it's coming through one ear. But it's great. I highly recommend it. So
that's awesome.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to bringing headsets for a future tool of the week. I have some coming from Kickstarter, which are the same. They're not as expensive as the Apple ones. There are the just in-ear cordless ones, but they have active noise canceling. I find anymore with flying, I'm always regret not having my noise canceling headphones, and the big ones I just forget to pack all the time, or say I'll be fine without them, and then I get on a plane or get into a noisy room and think, I wish I had those noise canceling headphones with me. So I'm looking forward to reporting on how that turns out with those ones coming out in a little bit. It's a great idea. Gab, do you have a miscellaneous, anything that you wanted to add in that
I'm saving it all for the next category.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great. I will say that this is a discussion that three of us have had, not on the podcast, but have had in real life, how much I appreciate having a record player in my office. I was able to get one from a friend who, like everybody's had one in a box since the early 90s in their basement, and happened to hand me a good starter pack of good records. And it's just, I don't use it all the time. I use Spotify on my speakers or on my phone all the time, but every once in a while it's just nice to put on a record. And I love the act of listening to not just one song from one person and then one song from somebody else, but listening to a whole album. And that has been that's been really awesome. So it's definitely a tool to give yourself some focus on some music and rediscover albums again. It's a really fun thing. And I have lots of dream record players, but nothing's really on my list. There are really cool looking record players out these days. But I have a perfectly good working one from the late 80s that I use all the time.
Yeah, record players are awesome.
Yeah. Yes, I definitely know that both Dan and Gab are big record people too. So that's my one miscellaneous one that I would add in there. So our last category, again, go to camphacker.tv/podcast, look for episode 120 for the show notes for this. Our last category we called hobbyish things, is things that just give you pleasure. These are not things that that necessarily make you a better camp director. They might make you a happier camp director. And so there's some really fun stuff there. Gab, do you mind starting us off in that category?
Yep. The first one I have, so I just called it printing, but it could go in our book category. But I have a cool book called Printing by Hand, and I just find that I need to do something tactile regularly, and it helps unblock my mind, and I problem solve, and I get to create something. So it's where you can use different ways of printing, and you can put it on clothing or on paper, et cetera, et cetera. But I love finding new ways of doing that, and you do not need to be artistically inclined. I am actually I'm not artistically inclined. My hand drawing stuff is not the best, but you can do cool shapes and that kind of stuff and put those together. So I love printing, and there's some really cool books out there, or obviously YouTube videos to do so.
Yeah, remember back when it used to be hard to find silkscreen material?
Yep.
Like all that stuff is so readily available now. It's awesome.
You can just go to Michael's and get it done. And the crazy thing is when you do these things throughout the year and then you pass it on to staff members or campers or whatever, it's crazy how they pick up on it. So, but they love it. They really, really, really love it. So, yeah. Lots of people are going to get some printing stuff for Christmas.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. What's for you, Dan?
Yeah, it's an app, but it's definitely more in the hobby world. So I love audiobooks, and just Libby is amazing. I hear a lot of people talk about Audible, but you got to pay money with Audible. Libby uses your library. Everyone should be using their library because most libraries are free, if not close to it. It supports your town, supports the use, all that sort of thing. And Libby will connect to your local town's library and instant downloads, free. What my method for audiobooks is, I will give it anything an hour. If I don't like you in an hour, I dump you. And it makes me feel much better dumping a book I didn't pay for than having to suffer through an Audible book that I thought was going to be good. And to be frank, like some books vary on the author, some books vary on the narrator's voice. Totally. Libby, Libby. But yeah.
Great. I hope you put Gun Machine on your list, Danny. It's awesome.
Yeah, I wrote it down. I'm so excited to download it after this. So, yeah.
Cool. Mine is a reading one. My first one in this is a reading one. As I say, we're recording this in December, but I understand this is going to be available in January as well. But it's the Kindle Unlimited subscription, which is on top of your Prime. It's $10 a month. I don't know if I'm going to stick around for that, but right now there's a 3-month trial for $1 a month. And Kindle Unlimited is all the Kindle books that you could want. It is not every book. It's not always new books. But I had looked at it before and thought, this is a waste of money. I can't find the books that I want. None of the novels that I had saved on my wish list were available. None of the business books that I wanted to read. But then I discovered that comic books and graphic novels are in there. And so I can open the Kindle app on a tablet and read graphic novels for free. Most of the old classics are on there. So I started reading Neil Gaiman's Sandman, which is a legendary comic graphic novel series, and I never read it. Even looking at the collected volumes, they always seem really very expensive to me. So I was ecstatic this week when I figured out you could find all of Sandman on Kindle Unlimited, and so I've been reading that. So there are unbelievable graphic novels available in there. It's way better than a Comixology membership, which I've tried before too, to subscribe to comics and graphic novels through Comixology, which is also owned by Amazon, but this just happens to just serve it all up in your Kindle app on a thing. So check out the Kindle Unlimited trial and give that a shot. So Gab, we'll go to you. What's next?
I'm pretty sure I know I have mentioned Skillshare before on our podcast, but it is something that I use regularly. As it's totally worth it. It's just a little under $10 a month, but you have classes, and the way it's set up is that they're project based. So for me, I find that really helpful for learning, and not just passive listening, which is passive listening is great, but to actually learn something. And I try not to do stuff where I'm thinking about work that's just purely fun for me. So, and a lot of it's creative, but on a bonus, of course, there's stuff on leadership, on business management, on marketing that applies to your work. But if we're looking at hobbies, Skillshare is great for doing stuff that's just outside of your job. But if you're paying the $10 a month, you could also use it for your work, and you can pass that. My staff share my password, so if I want them to do a course, then they get to do a course as well. They're really well done, and it's instead of just always doing work, trying to do something that's where you get to learn. So helpful.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I would put in the list masterclass.com. Beth gave me a year subscription to Masterclass for my birthday last year, and I'm always stunned at the new people they're adding to masterclass.com, and have taken some amazing cooking courses on there. Like I thought I would go straight to Annie Leibovitz and the photography stuff, and Jimmy Chin and the adventure photography stuff, but I haven't. Like I've gone to the cooking stuff and Neil Gaiman on storytelling, and it has been awesome. So it's I think a little more expensive than Skillshare, but I think, we'll try to put this in. I think I can share a code that will give you 3 extra months if you will buy a subscription to it. So it's a great one.
Udemy is another one. I use Udemy all the time. Where my new job, there's a basketball court nearby, and I didn't know how to throw a free throw, and I downloaded the video, and I could throw a much better free throw than before. So Udemy is a good one as well too. You pay a la carte that one; it's not subscription, but
But it's so great also when you're coming home from work and you're tired, and sometimes you're just having dinner and you're going to watch Netflix. If you know that you're going to come home and you're going to do an hour of a class, it's kind of exciting. You have dinner, you sit down, and you're ready to do your class, and it breaks things up a little bit, and something to look forward to. So I want to try Masterclass too. That looks so cool.
One that I think you love, Dan, is Aaron Franklin teaching Texas style barbecue, and he does a whole episode just on getting the fire right.
The fire right is everything. I mean, it's totally everything. It's totally everything. Oh my god!
When we did our last podcast, Dan was he was smoking. What were you smoking for
vegetables,
Thanksgiving?
Squash or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yams?
smoked squash. It was great.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, in his smoker. It was really cool.
Let me
Good.
tell
So
you.
thank you for
Let me tell
reporting
you.
back. You liked it? It worked out well?
Yeah, it worked out well. I blew my aunt's mind because my uncle has a smoker, but only uses it for meat. And the fact that I was able to put vegetables in a smoker, she was just like, "What?" And but I was smoking for about an hour and a half, a little olive oil, and then it was good. Couldn't get my temp perfect, so I had to like slow cook it a little bit afterwards. But it was great consistency, good smokiness. It matched up with the squash. Just
nice.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Good. That's
good.
awesome.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Excellent. Dan, what is your next personal pleasure pick?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I found this gem over Thanksgiving. Shout out to my cousin Andrew. I don't know if you listen to this, but this is for you. Untitled Goose Game is the name of the game. Untitled Goose Game. It's for Nintendo Switch. It is easily the silliest, dumbest video game I've ever played. You're a goose. You can only honk, flap your wings, and grab things, and run. You could run, but you run like a goose, and you basically terrorize a small English village, and it's amazing. It brings me all the joy. I've logged way too many hours. I could totally watch other people play this video game. I've watched my wife play this video game. I watched my 3-year-old play this video game.
Yeah,
it's great. It's just it's amazing. Untitled Goose Game.
You can also download it for your PC or your Mac. You don't need to have.
Just the Switch.
Yeah, nice.
I just looked online. It looks hilarious.
Yeah,
it's just ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. Yeah,
I love that.
And I found out that that's where the goose memes come from. Apparently, I didn't know. So that's all the goose memes are from Untitled Goose. Because my cousin Andrew was like, "You haven't seen the memes?" I was like, "I've seen them." And he's like, "Well, that's what it's from." And I was like, "Oh,
awesome.
Fair game."
Cousin Andrew.
Yeah, exactly.
Good old Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
good old cousin Andrew. Right on. Well, we're coming closer to the end. Gab, what's your next one?
My next one's called Center, and it is an app developed by Chris Hemsworth, and it's I'm laughing as I'm saying it because it is based. I got it for my 40th birthday last year, and it's his fitness app. But what's really cool about this app is that it's all of his people that sort of, I guess, take care of him and get him to where he's at right now.
This is the actor.
This is the actor. Yeah.
Oh, the actor. Right.
So it sounds super cheesy.
Yeah.
It's really cool. So basically, it's a diverse group of individuals, body shape, sizes, et cetera, et cetera. You've got cooks. You have trainers. You have people that do meditation. So all of the apps on your phone, put it into one, but with a really, really cool vibe and very customizable. So for example, if you're vegetarian and gluten intolerant, you can have a meal plan that's developed for you. If you're feeling for some sweet stuff, you can find those items as well. And then if you want a workout that has no gear, some gear, lots of gear, but it sort of feels like a wellness type app, and it's something that makes me want to keep going back to it. And I don't feel like it's a fitness app at all. I feel like it's a what do I need in that day type thing. So it's very much for me a self-care thing. I like it. I love the people on it. I think they're really awesome individuals. They clearly know what they're talking about. And Chris Hemsworth is barely on it, which kind of makes me happy because I don't necessarily need him to be telling me what to be doing.
Right.
But these other people have dedicated themselves to this, and they're really, really neat individuals, and they're always putting on new information, new content, new recipes. So it's my little treat that I have for myself on my phone.
Right on. I love it. My last one, I have several others that I would pick, but just in the interest of time, I'm going to narrow it down to my last pick, which is the world of the AFOL, the Adult Fans of Lego. And there are crazy websites, tons of YouTube stuff. I am in the middle, as we're recording the middle of December, I'm in the middle of working through the Star Wars Lego calendar, as is Gab, the Lego Advent calendar. And if you're watching, you can see my favorite piece so far, which is these tiny micro Poe Dameron's black X-Wing. It's such a joy every day to get up and make some Lego. And it has made me dig out old Lego packs out of the basement and sort and think about those. And many of you will have seen the shelf behind me when I record, which is full of the Lego Skyline models of places that Beth and I have been. But I have loved digging into this world. There is so many cool things. It's funny, Lego specific websites. One's called Bricklink, and another one called Rebrickable, which is just kind of mind-blowing to me. Rebrickable, you can upload the Lego sets that you have, so just tell them what numbers of Lego sets you have, and then if you want to build something else, it'll tell you if you have all the right parts to build it, or what 2 or 3 little parts. I have 68% of this model. I have all the parts from all my other stuff. So if you're not a person who builds a Lego set and leaves it on a shelf, but takes it apart to use it for other things, then you have lots of cool things that you can build. So I'll get Matt to put the 3 links into there, Rebrickable and Bricklink, in there for building other models. But Lego's given me a lot of joy in my life and a lot more joy this month. So that is my final pick of these ones today. Dan, you've got one more, yes?
Yep. So for me, it's Rocksmith. It's for Xbox. The game's a few years old, but I really struggle with learning guitar, and I really always wanted to learn guitar. And I've done one-on-one lessons. I got on the YouTube, and Rocksmith is the only thing that's actually been able to teach me guitar. You actually plug your guitar into the Xbox and play it like you play Guitar Hero, except you're playing a real guitar. It's great. It's really enjoy it. Bought a very affordable guitar off of Amazon and just plug right into it. And you can play. They have tons of licenses songs just like Guitar Hero, and really enjoy it. So
that sounds awesome. Yeah, that's really great. I got to look that up for sure. Cool. Gab, do you have any more? I think we're at the end. Yes.
Yep, at the end.
Okay. Well, I really do want to thank everybody. As I say, I think this is coming out in the new year, so we want to wish everybody a happy 2020 and look forward to doing a lot more shows this year. It's been a real pleasure to get together more often than we have the last couple of years and talk camp stuff. So if you have any ideas of future shows, you can send those in to Travis at gocamp.pro. I want to thank Michaela, who just submitted through our online form, which I can't remember the address of that right now, but she sent in a great idea. So thanks, Michaela. We look forward to talking about some of the stuff that you mentioned. But people, tell us what you're struggling with. Tell us what you are, you want to hear some other brains on a problem. We'd love to add that into our show. Dan, if people want to follow up with you, what's the best way to get in touch to ask follow-up questions or check in with you, that sort of thing?
Yeah. My email is dan.weir@ymcali.org. My Twitter and Instagram handles are Dan Loves Camp.
Great. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, you're welcome.
It's a pleasure. Gab, how do people get in touch with you?
You can check me out on Instagram at gabrielle.rail, and rail has 2 L's, or you can see where I work at waro.com, OUAREAU.com.
Excellent. Thanks for being here, Gab.
Thanks.
And we do really appreciate everybody listening or watching. Again, if you're a YouTube watcher, please do hit subscribe and hit the bell, because then you'll know when we put out new content, which is coming out quite regularly. There's some really good stuff, not only from the CampHacker podcast, also from First Class Counselors. Really love what Matt and Oliver are doing. Many of you listen to those in your podcast, in your CampHacker feed. But we are also have good shows coming out from Camp Code, from the Day Camp Pod, and soon to be released our new podcast, which we'll let you know more about officially coming up in the new year. So I appreciate everybody, and we miss you, Joe, and thanks for the evening, friends.
The CampHacker podcast is brought to you by Beth and Travis Allison, summer camp leadership training and marketing consultants. Thanks for listening. CampHacker, bringing your world into focus.
Hey, Camp Pros, we love that our industry is built on sharing. In order to foster that spirit, we hope that whenever you share an idea that you learned from the CampHacker podcast, conference, summer camp professionals group, or wherever else, that you're quick to give credit where credit is due. That way, we can all encourage more Camp Pros to share the tips and tricks that will make camp better.
Hey, it's Travis. Camp directors often tell me they're just too tired to take on anything new. That's exactly why my free Resilient Camp Blueprint Diagnostic exists. It doesn't add work, it shows you progress. Quick, free, repeatable, you'll know if your systems are paying off without the guesswork. Try it today at camp.mba/Travis. That's camp.mba/Travis.